Pledge of Allegiance. Before I was going to ask perhaps Commissioner Harris to lead the pledge, but before I do that, let me call on Commissioner Miller if she wishes to be heard on this issue. Those questions.
Thank you, Chair Bonner. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just turned it up.
The mic on?
Yes.
I'll do that. Okay. Great. Thank you. I just have some concerns about reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, not necessarily personal, but really more in terms of principle. Even as someone who's a member of the clergy, I'm reticent to require anyone in any public forum from reciting or pledging allegiance with the word God. I believe firmly in the separation between church and state, and would really like to keep it that way. In such, I've also
We need to speak on this item.
done some research on some of the other commissions that do not recite the Pledge of Allegiance. They include the Productivity Commission,
Phil,
which
help
only
the
does
speaker
it during
cards.
annual
You
meeting.
guys for item
But the
number
ones
2.
actually don't, based on the commission's agendas
Speaker
and
cards for
units,
item number 2.
are the Commission for Children and Families, the Commission for Women, the Commission on HIV, the Commission on Human Relations, the Consumer Affairs Advisory Commission, the Fish and Wildlife Commission, Los Angeles County Arts Commission, Los Angeles County Citizens Economy
We need to
and
spell
Efficiency
out
Commission,
speaker
Los
cards
Angeles
for
County
item number
Commission on
2.
Disabilities, Los Angeles County Commission on Insurance, Los Angeles County Historical Landmarks and Records Commission, Los Angeles County Housing Commission, Los Angeles County Mental Health Commission, Los Angeles County Small Business Commission, Probation Commission, Quality of Drug Activities Commission. And the Consumer-
All right, I think with that, I'm perfectly willing to debate whether we should do the pledge or not. If commissioners want to do that, but I'm going to suggest and propose that we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Woohoo! Yay! Woohoo! Yay!
Doing it over a century.
I'm going to ask Commissioner Harris to lead the commission on the pledge. Anybody who does not wish to do the pledge or recite the words under
We are going to
God
say the
or
Pledge of
anything
Allegiance.
else, that's their own prerogative. I just think this is not the issue.
Yes.
We have some really important issues before this commission. This is not one of them. So,
It's important to the
If
people.
there are other commissioners that want to be heard, and if there are others, I'm going to hear people comment on this issue. So we either do the pledge now and move on, but weigh in here, you guys, if you want.
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I concur that the recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Woohoo!
Those who
Good
wish
guy.
to refrain from using any verbiage in the pledge, that's their personal prerogative, and they are willing to do so.
All right.
So I want to move on with this meeting, I truly do. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Harris to do, stand up, let's all rise. Those who wish to do the pledge.
Yeah, with all respect to Commissioner Miller's position, all rise as you are able, and your conscience allows, face the flag of our nation, and recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so, Commissioner Miller, I do respect your views, and we are going to take under advisement. Perhaps this, your proposal is something we would say in addition to the pledge, but let's agendize that for the next meeting. Great. So on advice of county council, because we did have a discussion of this item, we will hear public comment.
Woohoo!
All
All right.
So let's begin our meeting with that. I don't know the order we're going to do. So Robin Dixon. Okay, so those first three, let's start with Robin Dixon.
Yes, I am just here in support of a public body politic meeting beginning that meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I am very glad that we said it today, and as was mentioned, if you do not wish to participate, you need not. So I hope this body politic will continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance. It's a refreshing, it's a patriotic way to begin a meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, so this item number 2?
No, yes, it is item number 2.
Yes, I'd like to thank you for allowing us, Americans, to say the Pledge of Allegiance. This country was founded on the liberties that our men and women fought for. Our liberties, our freedoms, and our rights. Dothose of you behind me who didn't stand, you're unpatriotic, and you're not an American. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? This is a land of freedom.
We're the Native Americans that you try to build over here.
So am I, so be quiet, and I'm proud of it.
Can you stop by turn, please?
I want to repair what's bad about this country. And there's a lot of things bad about this country. There's nothing.
Maybe you ought to go back to your own country.
Native America, man.
Folks, you'll have your time, please.
Go to Spain.
Go ahead, Mr. Rodriguez, you bet.
Okay, thank you. Now, I want to say that if you don't love this country, you shouldn't be here. If you don't love this country, go back to where you came from.
I came
Whatever
from
country
here.
it was, America.
Here.
It's a Native American.
Let me tell you, this country, California was bought for $15 million, the war of 1846 to 1848. So you need to learn the history. America, we bought California for $15 million, so you have no claim to California at all. So go back to your country, either love it or leave it. That's the bottom line. If you don't like America, go back. Get the hell out of here. We don't need you here. We need to have people.
Will you address the...
There are white supremacists in a brown
The
skin.
Pledge of Allegiance is something I do because my father fought in Germany against the Germans. And my son was in Iraq. I was in the military, and I'm proud. I'm a proud American. I love this country, and this is why. I want to thank you for doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. I can't pronounce your name.
Did you say genocide?
My name is Shirley Wood, and I'm
What's your last name?
Wood.
Wood.
I'm so thankful that we have a Pledge of Allegiance this morning. Family that is full of
We can't hear you.
Get closer to the mic.
died for this country.
Any point of view on the?
In fact, I'm going to see my nephew graduate from airborne, so I'm very happy that she did the Pledge of Allegiance. And whomever has a different religion or none whatsoever doesn't have to say it in God.
Yeah.
But it's a tradition, along with a lot of other things that has been ignored or scoffed at. But you know what? We're proud Americans. The people that live here in this country are proud. We're proud to be here, law-abiding, and pay our taxes, follow the laws of the land, and we love our country. We want to see the Pledge of Allegiance. So I thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I think that it was very bold and great that you stood up for America and tradition. And it's a wonderful thing. You know, I think that the people that are scoffing and raising their voice against this commission is ridiculous. I think that it's un-American, and you know, they have their point to make, but they don't have to be rude about it. They can do it anywhere. Thank you.
Take your own advice.
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam? Let me call forward Deanne Gilliam, Jared Spirito, Nadia Khan, so 3 in that order, if we could have them come forward.
Good morning. Thank you for letting us say the pledge. I taught for 47 years, kindergarten through 8th grade. Even my kindergartners knew why we said the pledge. We would talk about it. It's very, very simple with them. They're proud of their country. I mean, it's been 9 years since I was taught. I've been retired. And this is some of the things that they said. My dad gave his life, or my uncle gave his life for this country. We get to go to school. Kindergartners love to go to school. And my parents love this country. Even the kinders, very, very young, can understand why we pledge allegiance to our flag. The upper graders would go out in the morning, raise the flag, and then everybody would pledge if they happened to be around the flag, to the flag. The whole school would come out over the speaker, and they would say the pledge. Those children who are not allowed to say the pledge, we expected them to stand up and be polite. We learned to be polite in this country. We try to treat everybody with respect, and we try to follow our laws. And even our little kindergartners did. I taught everything, kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. And this is what we discussed when any child did not stand up or would not say the pledge. We would stop, we'd talk about it and find out why. Thank you very much. One more thing. For the Indians and Native Americans here, I'm half Native American. I say the pledge.
Clearly you're
My
from the white side.
grandmother was Native American, and that's where mine came from. And she was proud to say the pledge. So don't tell me they stole the land. We did not steal the land. My other parts of my family did not steal the land.
Exactly.
Where's your cousins at?
Good morning, Commission. Just want to say one of these distinguished, young, community-engaged political activists felt it necessary to take one of our American flags on the way and rip it in half. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you're working with back there. And also, thank you, Commissioner, for listing all the different elected body or non-elected bodies, commissions, committees that don't recite the pledge. That way we can start going there and encouraging them to start reciting the pledge. We appreciate that list. Thank you very much. That'll help us quite a bit in our activism. And thank you for encouraging us to do this pledge today. It's what you do at board meetings. It's simple as that. It's part of what we do here in the United States of America. So God bless this country. God bless this flag. And drones suck. Thank you.
My heart is beating. There's a lot of sickness and disgusting rhetoric in this room, particularly from this corner, so. My heart is beating. Okay.
Good. You're alive.
I'd like to, the man before me was complaining about the American flag being ripped. So I would like to give a history lesson on Native Americans whose scalps were ripped off of their head, who enslaved Africans who were ripped away from their families and killed. So let's really talk about the real Americans. It's not you and your supposed native cousin. It's really the real Americans who are still living in extreme poverty in the situation on the reservations, the disgusting, brutal history. You say it's just words, you say you have a choice. I feel bad for that kindergartner who you traumatized by questioning in front of the class. I'm a teacher. I would never traumatize my students like that. These words have been forced upon people. It's not just sitting and listening to words. It's sitting and being reminded of a history of genocide that continues today, of a history of slavery that continues today through the prison system and through many of these awful systems. California wasn't bought, it was stolen. This land has been stolen. I need to acknowledge that. And that man was so rude outside, he spit on people, he interrupted our polite press conference that we were having. So I would really like to call out this violent rhetoric that is being pushed here. It's sick, it should not be allowed. I should not be forced to subject myself to certain words that have a disgusting history of genocide and slavery. I would like to continue to remind us of that. It's traumatic, it's not just words, maybe it's just words in your fantasy world, but not for those of us who are affected by this shit. Excuse me.
And Mr.
School teacher, my ass.
Yes, that's fine, that's excuse. Mr. Beck?
Yes. Let me respond to that. Okay. I like to, there was an old man in a park, and people were making fun of his ragged old flag. And his response, he said, I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in the flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware and got powder burned tonight. Frank Scott Key watching it right in, say, can you see? It got ripped in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. It almost fell off the Alamo beside the Texas flag. But she waved on though. She got cut in sword with the sword of Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee and Beauregard and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole with the Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low in Time War II. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they were about to quit waving back here at home in her good old land here. She's been abused, she's been burned, she's been dishonored, denied, and refused. At the government from which she stands, she has been scandalized throughout the land, and she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing mighty thin. But she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we bring her down slow every night. We won't let her touch the ground. We will fold her upright. On second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
Yeah!
No pause there. All right, Mr. Tommy Khan, I think is signed up for no applause.
I love that.
Very nice.
Very nice. Of course you love blood.
Good morning. I'm just very concerned about the proceedings that they've happened. I think the question here is that if we continue to be intimidated and we continue to be doing this thing, tomorrow we're going to be asked for people to prove their citizenship. Tomorrow we're going to be asked for people to come in and just show that they're permanent residents. So I think this is something with lessons learned. We just had the 4th of July pass earlier this month, and I just want to read real quickly from something from Frederick Douglass, which says, "What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all of the days of the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is a constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty an unholy license, your national greatness swelling vanity, your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless, your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence, your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgiving, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him more bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages." So I think I just want to stop there because the kind of cruelty that has happened. And we're speaking about Frederick Douglass. We went to war. We went to war under a lie of weapons of mass destruction. We went to war under the cover of the flag, and which will bring us back to drones as well, which are still causing trauma for many cultures and countries around the world. Thank you.
We have Adrian Alvarez.
I pledge to uphold the truth and nothing but the truth.